are the real heroes of India's education system, and why don't we know their names? Hey pupils, this is Sharmida Kaushik, and if you're watching this, you are the learning kind. This is brought to you by Perpetual Pupil, experts at learning and development, currently focused on bringing new perspectives to education. Our guest today knows these unsung heroes better than anybody. Joining us is SV Manjunath, an educator, writer, who has journeyed from classrooms to policy advisory rooms and is here to tell us all about it. So let's dive right into it. Sir, welcome. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you, Sharmila.
So, as you know, we're going to begin with a rapid fire round, sir. Are you excited for the rapid fire round?
Yes. Let me face you.
Okay. So my first question is, we all have dreams of what we want to be when we grow up and we're children, right? So what did you want to be, sir, when you were 10 years old?
If I recollect, I think 10 years, I remember my childhood days, but I'm not sure at that time, as to what I wanted to become. Probably a couple of years down the lane, I think 11, 12, I had started playing cricket, street cricket. And somewhere, deeply, this is early 70s, early to mid 70s. I think I wanted to probably become a cricketer. I think because I was already into playing proper cricket, representing school, in fact, captaining my middle school at that time. And I was already into listening to commentary. There was no television.
Oh.
Listening into commentary, radio, All India Radio, commentary, BBC, whatever that is. So I think there was some kind of a feeling that wish or dream that I wanted to become a cricketer probably. I think that was the first recollection I have.
That's nice. Were you a batsman or a bowler?
I was an all-rounder, but essentially a bowling all-rounder, I would say. And primarily a medium-fast bowler.
That's nice. Who's your favorite cricketer right now, sir?
Right now, there are many, but India, I would say Bumrah.
Oh.
And a couple of other players from other countries, maybe Kane Williamson,
Nice.
New Zealand, many others, yeah.
Nice. Do you have any first memories from your school days, your first time you remember being in school?
Yeah. I mean, there's some very strange incidences I remember. Naturally when you recollect, normal things won't come, Some abnormal things come to your mind. So the first thing was that, in my early primary school level, what I remember is I was going on a horse tanga to school. During those days, Bangalore had a lot of horse tangas. Now you see rickshaws and cabs and things like that. We used to have, a horse tanga used to pick me and my brother up from home and drop at the school. I really used to enjoy that ride, It was a short ride, 2 kilometers or something. But that was one thing I remember. The second incident I remember is, I think it was in my third or fourth class. They asked us to enact a play, of course, directed by teachers and all that. So I was given the role of Gandhi's father, Karamchand. And everything was set, and I think parents and a lot of audience were there. I don't remember. Maybe it was a school day or annual day, whatever. And then from behind the scene, curtains, you can see the audience, right? So and also in that play kind of a thing, the lighting will be very different. So I could see only some faces. I couldn't see many of them. I really literally got scared. And as my scene came, my teachers were telling me to go on stage. So I forgot everything. I came on stage, I saw, and then I ran off. That was my first recollection. And it's very ironical because later on in my, all my jobs, career, profession, or any other interaction, I had to face the audience literally. And I don't know when I overcame that. That stage fear or whatever, but this one stands in my memory. Yeah. I think probably they must have pushed me later and given me the confidence, chocolate or water or whatever, and then they asked me to go. But that was the first memory I have.
Oh, yeah. I think we can all recall very weird memories like that from our school. Was there any particular book that changed your perspective on education or still sticks with you?
One book which really, of course, I came to education from a different sector about 15, 16 years back is Diva Swapna of Gijubai. That was something that really made me understand what kind of education one should be looking for. Toto-chan is another one.
Oh,
How in a Japan school, how a child-friendly atmosphere uh, got created and things like that. And how do you actually encourage a child to develop questioning ability, curiosity, learnability, and things like that. That was one. In our own context, Shivram Karant, a great writer, he has written, his book. One of the books is Chinnara Loka, World of Children. Right. In that, there's a section which is dealing with ideal teacher and teaching. That section I had read. That again gives a perspective. He had written these things, and he had experimented a lot in developing children and child-friendly atmosphere. His own children were brought up in that way. He had got that Balavana in Puttur.
yeah.
So many of his learnings, many of his experiments were on his children, and from that perspective, those writings of Shivram Karant were also very inspiring and thought-provoking.
The world of childhood in schools, were they different from what in reality you participated in than in these books?
Yeah, distinctly
Very
quite different. Quite different. It had changed quite a lot. Because what he talks about is letting the children develop or grow in a natural atmosphere.
Yeah.
And not to force learning on children, not to force all subjects, not syllabus based, not constricted, not restricted. Allow them free. Allow them to soak in the atmosphere, and then learn, develop their own curiosity, question, and then probably address their issues.
Yeah.
Of course, language will come, and the love for nature will come. Many languages will come, and things like that. So the unbridled kind of growth, unrestricted boundaries of syllabus and things like that.
Yeah.
That's what I think. And all his children, all the three of them, have grown into great professionals in their career and things like that. That's a testimony to his style being effective. But I don't know whether that can be tried in a large scale, but some of those things are there for us to take from.
Interesting, yeah. So many books about teaching, but what do you think, so which is harder, learning or teaching?
See, I think in today's context, I would say it's both. Teaching definitely is harder because despite all the provisions, all the facilities, teaching is becoming difficult because the curriculum and syllabus, at least it is being interpreted as being very heavy. They are not able to finish, and the teachers, particularly in government schools with whom I have interacted extensively, they are pressurized because of so many other responsibilities that go along with teaching, right? And there are diverse students that are coming, people with home language being different from the language that is taught in the school textbooks and things like that. So there are so many challenges that they face, right? Ensuring results are improved every year on year, kind of a thing. But whereas you have these kind of other challenges also, COVID was a big setback. Many of them, whatever they had learned, they lost. So there's a loss of learning and things. So teaching is not easy at all. And every teacher is thought of to be a god, or should, ideally conceived to be a god, So he has to deliver, or she has to deliver everything and anything that the society expects them from. Even though there is also a role for parents and things like that. That's a separate matter. But whatever is lacking at home, the teachers are expected to fulfill that and bridge the gap and things like that. So teaching is becoming very harder. I would say, depending on the stage at which you're talking, learning is also very difficult. Unless and until the learner puts in the effort, receives whatever is not just being given, is alive to the atmosphere, and brings out his own his own experiences to what is happening, and that kind of a thing, then he won't get. Learner also has to be, that learnability is what I think keeps one going all the time. different stages, right? The school there's a particular role, and then you come to higher education level, there's a particular role. So throughout, learnability is what. So from that perspective, I would say learner also has a equal responsibility. They both come together only. I think the education, I don't know whether to call it success or something, but then if it has to be meaningful, I think both have to come together in some measure. And the last thing is, there's a lot of funding required for implementing schemes and programs, including the TPD, Teacher Professional Development programs. So the usual thing is that it goes grounds up, right? So the planning is done at the district level, block level, district level, and then comes to the state level, and then the budget proposals are made from the state to the center, Ministry of Education now, school education. Right. But there is a time lag between the release of funds from the center to the state and then back to the districts and things like that. So what Kerala, interestingly, was doing is that during that period, they won't wait for the central funds to be released. The state, from their own budgets, were releasing the funds to the district level so that the implementation of the programs
is not delayed. Wow.
That was a great thing, I thought. If we could do that. So what happens is that the whole implementation, or you are planned to start a program in August or something, but due to lack of funds or delay in the release of funds, the implementation period will get shifted to November, December.
That's
so
amazing.
it won't be effective. So I think these are the things in which Kerala stands out.
Wow.
But there's a lot of positives Karnataka also has. So we'll have to take the best of things that are done, adapt it to our requirements, and then move forward and continue what we are doing best also.
Correct, yeah. It is so interesting to me, sir, what you said about how the community in Kerala takes care of the education systems. When people in the position of power to impact change in these areas are stakeholders in the education itself, their children are going to such schools, then they have an incentive to take part in its development. That's very... and also the student autonomy was something that really stuck with me. The children taking charge of their own
because
school.
Otherwise we can't expect only the government to run the system well,
Exactly.
in a democracy. Although, government has the clear mandate to, make these systems strong, education, health, and these basic services. But no, in today's context, the governance is very complex. So, for various reasons, right? So, unless the community actively participates and supports, plays an active role, it's very difficult to make it happen.
These are the responsibilities of our administrative level. But what do you think, sir, is the most difficult part of a teacher, of being a teacher? Misunderstood part, I would like to say.
Yeah. As I said, we were discussing earlier, no? So, one thing is that the teacher is expected to deliver results, in no time or in a very short time. Although everybody understands, the children come from diverse backgrounds, many of the children who come to government schools don't get support at home in terms of continuing their practice or doing their home assignments and things like that, which keeps their learning going on. Those who are advantaged will have all these support systems, but this is lacking. So in the absence of that, how do you expect teacher to actually make up for the loss or loss of learning or whatever, or children not being able to cope up with other children or the learning pace and things like that, if you want to call it. So it's a very difficult process unless teachers spend extra amount of time. But in a large class where there are so many children are there, it's very difficult thing to do. And children come from multiple issues, socio-economic, socio-emotional issues. Home language will be different. So it's a very complex thing. And on top of it, if you say all the policies, in terms of PTR, what we call it, pupil-teacher ratio. So for each class, there should be 30 children. That's the ratio that is fixed. But if you take a primary school, which is from class 1 to 5, There are 5 classes, and each class has about 5 or 6 subjects. And if assuming there are lesser number of children in a school, only 30 or 35, just imagine.
Yeah.
For the entire school, there will be one teacher.
Correct.
And in Karnataka, you have the system, joyful learning from class 1 to 3, Nalikali system.
Yeah, Nalikali.
There has to be an exclusive teacher for that.
Correct.
So even if there was only one more teacher given, even it's difficult to cover all the subjects, right?
Yeah.
So we think that number of children are small, but then one has to deal with so many subjects in different ways. So these are the complexity. So in that, how do you expect a teacher to ensure that all children learn, at a minimum expected learning is achieved by all children and things like that. It's very difficult.
It is,
But the expectation is from all of us are very high on the teacher.
Yeah, it's easy for us to say only 30 children.
Yeah. So in the classroom, on an everyday kind of a thing to make it happen. And then you have diversity of geography, different other conditions that are there. In a hilly terrain like Uttarakhand and all that, the challenges are very different. Reaching the school itself will be very difficult. Accessing the school, going to the school itself is very difficult. If you come to other socially affected areas, then they'll be missing many classes and things like that. So how does a teacher deal with all these complexities? Because school is a system that is there, part of the society, right? All the challenges that are there in the society. So school represents.
It reflects in the school atmosphere.
So that's why I find the teacher's job is very onerous, and on top of it, we also have to deal with this question. Are the best minds, best youngsters that are there, how many of them are coming to the teaching profession? This is one question one has to ask. So is teaching a profession that is chosen by majority of the youngsters, aspiring youngsters? Is it an aspirational kind of a role or position that one is looking for? But in many other countries it is. Teaching is respected, equally respected to the other professions that are that have a very high standard. No.
How do you think the sentiment is like in India, sir, right now for teaching?
See, right now, I feel I would say we all have to think. I don't think the best of minds are coming to the teaching profession right now. Are we able to attract, not just in terms of salary, making the whole thing so attractive? How does the society look at the teaching profession? Again, I'm saying it's not just in terms of salary and things like that. What is the position that you accord for this profession? How do you make it?
In society.
How do you respect the teachers in the school, in their current jobs, starting with that? What is the kind of autonomy that the teachers have in running their school? And also when it is given, how do teachers exercise that? All these are the issues that are there. So all of them will be looking at what is happening today. And of course, there are excellent teachers. There are innumerable excellent teachers that are striving, struggling to make things happen in remote corners of the country. And we have many, many examples of that. We run a podcast in Azim Premji Foundation called Nakshatragalu, which bring out the achievements of teachers in different nooks and corners of the state and also other parts of the country. Why do we do that is that, just to highlight that in the complex scenario that we are in, I think these are the role models. These become inspirational in a way. And we need to celebrate those teachers.
Yeah.
Not just talk about negative things and things like that.
Correct.
So I don't know that I have responded to your...
but
definitely. It's a complex question.
Yeah, that's true. Very complex. Do you think that universities that teach bachelors in education or other teacher training programs, do you think they take a part in creating this idea about what teaching is and the passion behind it?
Of late, the new education policy, national education policy, is now actually saying that the teacher, anybody who wants to become a teacher has to have a 4-year degree, at least. Yeah, like any other professional degree, right? An engineer studies for 4 years, or a doctor many more years, and things like that. A lawyer studies for at least 5 years after +2. Similarly, a teacher has to have its minimum 4-year degree. It's an integrated program where one chooses a specialized subject, core subject, science or humanities, languages, whatever, and then education. So these two have to be integrated. and how do you actually run it? So the program is a very interesting program.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of program that is there everywhere. Finland, US, any system that has a reasonably good education system of teacher preparation. So that is what has been started now in many other institutions. Hopefully, this should actually be able to give us, good teachers. Those who are really willing to become teachers, those who have come to teaching profession, chosen it by their own volition, not by chance or something. So that should actually, hopefully, start improving things, I would say. But whatever we did earlier, 1 year B.Ed was there earlier, and then it became 2 years and things like that.
Yeah.
My impression is that except for a few pockets, universally we can't say that that program ran very well.
Yeah.
As intended.
Yeah. Is there a single word you can use to describe, in your opinion, who a good teacher is?
Committed.
That's nice. You were talking about how children come from multiple different socio-economic backgrounds and languages. They speak different regional languages at home. And you've made a very strong case about how it is important for us to translate academic texts into regional languages. And when that doesn't happen, everybody doesn't have an equitable access to education itself. So going from there, I want to ask you, sir, what brought you into the world of translation?
See, I would say serendipity. In one word, if I have to say, because I was doing many other roles, but then probably in the current organization, from the field, I had a role in the field institution, and to the university, I was brought in precisely because I think there was a need. There was a need for creation of such materials for higher education students. Yeah. So we run many programs, at the degree level and post-graduation level, and things like that for our own students, for example, and also for others outside. This need is there. I myself have experienced when I was a student at a post-graduation level,
Yeah.
I would say, and even at a graduation level. I have seen many of my classmates actually struggling with the texts that were being dealt with. And they were struggling. They were translating themselves from English to Kannada, making sense of it, trying to discuss amongst themselves, sharing the work among them, and then trying to figure out. So, how much time is spent in just translation and creation of this in their own language, making sense of it in their own language, right?
Yeah.
Because if you have studied throughout your student life in your mother tongue,
Yeah.
and then you suddenly have to shift to an alien medium, you really are completely out of context.
Yeah.
You can't make out. So I have seen that struggle myself. Yeah, and I think there's a tremendous need, I would say, a real need, I would say, to create these materials, good quality materials, because original writing is not available in many of the Indian languages for various reasons, because these knowledge systems have not grown or developed to an extent where such original writing is available in plenty, right? Because many of these subjects have emerged in the West broadly, to say, you take psychology or economics or any of these, because it is based on the research and studies that are made 200, 300 years back by different professionals there, educationists or different subject experts, you want to call it. So we will have to take it from there, but at the same time also there's a need to bring in the local element, local knowledge. So encourage original writing. So good quality translation, and coupled with adding the original writing in your own mother tongue, native tongue. I think both are required at the same time.
Yeah, the recreation of knowledge as well as original writing.
Yeah, both are required. And we are making some attempt in our university in this regard. And we have been translating many of the texts from English to Kannada and Hindi. And we have created a website, open repository, to make this knowledge, all these resources available to people, provided a free access to them.
Wow.
Again, anybody can freely download and use it and things like that. We'll have to do a plenty in this area.
Thank you so much for staying with us so far as we wrap up part 1. We have explored the heart behind the book. In part 2, we will be diving into hot questions about NEP's 2 and 3 language policies, the no detention policies, and also how Mr. Manjunath's essays can tell us about the future of education. Please comment down below what you think about learning in your own mother tongue. Don't forget. And until next time, don't stop learning.